Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Elkriki and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Usur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, invasive species found in Fiji waters. SEDELPA says global economic uncertainty could affect budget. And police seize illicit drugs in several raids.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
3 invasive species have been found in Fiji's waters. This was confirmed by Maritime Safety Authority of Fiji Chief Executive Captain Philip Hill during a regional workshop on the protection of the marine environment. Hill says they have only identified one which could potentially harm our environment. Kritika Kumar reports.
Captain Philip Hill says one invasive species is like a small crayfish, almost 1.5 centimeters long.
Drills itself into the hull, wooden hull of boats. With the research that was done onto its origin, it originated from Netherlands.
He adds the Ballast Water Management and Anti-Fouling Systems Convention aims to prevent invasive species carried by ships from entering Fiji waters.
With those 3 main pieces of convention, the objective there is to reduce the introduction of invasive aquatic organisms and pathogens into our waters.
The technical analyst for the International Maritime Organization says it's important to stop invasive species.
All these invasive species that have a potential harm to not only to your environment as well, to all your ecosystem services. For example, it can have an impact on this existing species. It can become dominant. The invasive species can become dominant, reduce the biodiversity.
Invasive species is a foreign species, and if they survive the voyage, they become a pest in our marine environment. Meanwhile, Fiji has ratified the Ballast Water Management and Anti-Fouling Systems Convention. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
On the eve of the 2019-2020 budget announcement, the Social Democratic Liberal Party has given their views on what might be the outcome of the national budget announcement tomorrow. The party leader, Sitiveni Rambuka, and other senior members of SEDELPA gave their observations, saying the budget could be impacted by the global economic uncertainty. Ali Kimbia with the story.
Already asserting their opinion on the outcome of the budget, SEDELPA says government needs to relook at how assistance are distributed.
There is too much non-targeted assistance in these sectors. Therefore, the focus should be on identifying those who really need the assistance and be given the support rather than the current arrangement where every Tom, Dick and Frank can get assistance.
With government trying to introduce sound economic policies to try and create a sustainable economy, the SEDELPA leader is calling on government to reduce consumption.
We must try and maintain our current revenue trend, which is already quite high as a percentage of GDP, and reduce wastage.
SEDELPA's Shadow Minister for Economy, Aseri Randronro, is calling for a tax review.
Indirect taxes like VAT, indirect taxes like fees and charges. So these are the revenue lines that needs to be reviewed. So we are not overtaxing people.
The party is calling on government to urgently improve the way it manages the economy, given the insecurity of trade negotiations between top world countries. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Police and relevant authorities have made several arrests following a number of separate drug raids. 2 farmers have been charged with 1 count each of unlawful possession of illicit drugs. The charges were laid following a raid at a home in Nangere, Savusavu. Officers seized crystal-like substance, leaves and smoking apparatus during the raid. In another incident, a 55-year-old man and a 24-year-old woman are in custody following a raid at their home in Narere yesterday. White crystals, dried leaves and assorted electronic goods were seized by police. In another raid in Arere, a woman and a man were arrested following the discovery of more than $1,000 cash, smoking apparatus and seeds. In a joint operation involving 2 separate raids on vehicles, police discovered white crystals believed to be methamphetamine. Both drivers are in custody. And in the Western Division, 4 people have been arrested following similar drug raids and discoveries on separate occasions. The Fisheries Ministry has revealed that a lot needs to be done to solve the financial discrepancies left as a legacy to the ministry. While making submissions to the Public Accounts Committee today, Permanent Secretary Craig Strong assured the committee they are doing all they can to amend past financial issues. Ali Kimbia with the story.
While scrutinizing the 2016 financial report of the Fisheries Ministry, the Public Accounts Committee noted the work being done by the ministry to rectify past financial concerns.
If you look at the fixed assets, if there's no formal kind of transition of fixed assets financially from one ministry to a new, you can imagine what might have happened with the human capital. So we're working very hard to correct that.
In the report, the PEC committee found issues like lack of prudent financial information and inaccurate information provided to the committee. The ministry has assured the committee that these financial issues will not appear again.
And at the end of the day, we don't want to know that there's something wrong in this and we are providing that correct now. Because everybody's time is precious.
For us, the heavy lifting over the next 24 months, and you'll see an improvement, is us to micromanage these processes to ensure that you won't have these non-occurrences.
The ministry says they will work closely with the Ministry of Economy to develop sound financial policies that will assist them. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Still to come, TLTB proposes revoking all pine land leases from Boa. And mother saves money for a month to celebrate Eid. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Oya uvasit sai sai lambasa, ya ndo talita ina warong Nambula FM nambandua ya nasere.
Guya do kimeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warong Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Wana mtuma Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere nawaluan.
Na evengo fanya na tao.
The Tauke Land Trust Board is proposing to revoke all pineland leases from Boa in order to stop the rifts and differences with the Fiji Pine Limited. The proposal was put to the landowners during a combined consultation between the TLTB and Fiji Pine Limited and Boa Lomanikoro on Tuesday. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
Lease boundary issues have plagued the pine industry for decades. For these pine landowners in the Tikina of Boa, they're unhappy about the overplanting of pine leases.
Why was there overplanting on our land? Because the lease boundary is clear, yet you allowed Fiji Pine to plant beyond that boundary.
One particular clan is questioning how Fiji Pine Limited is planting pine on their native land.
Our native land boundary starts from the village here and goes right to our border with Navakasinga village, but there are 77.2 hectares of pine plantation on it.
The TLTB is aware of the leases that are being overplanted. They have now come up with a proposal that will put this decades-old issue to rest.
These disputed areas, we will revoke all the leases, and along with the landowners, we will chart the boundaries again, and then it will depend on the landowners if they want to continue with the leases or stop it.
The proposal will now be put forward to pine landowners to gather their views.
If after the survey it is found that we indeed overplanted, we will not force landowners into agreeing to lease out their land again. It will entirely be their decision.
Consultations with the landowners have been scheduled for next week, starting from Ndama on Monday. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Thousands of Muslims around the country today have been celebrating the end of the holy month of fasting and celebrated Eid. Amongst the many, Faridan Bano from Nanuku settlement in Vatwanga says she had to make ends meet to buy things for her family this Eid. Catherine Krishna met up with Bano and files this report.
56-year-old Faridan Bano lives with her husband Shamshed Ali in Vatwanga. She says to celebrate Eid this year, she had to save up cash from her income, which was derived from sewing clothes. I have a lot of customers in this area who bring their clothes to be amended and sewn. From the money I received over the last month, I had to save up so that I can buy things this Eid. This is part of my preparations every year. We both work really hard. My husband is a carpenter and he also helped me save up for today. Bano says while fasting, she was also busy during the day clearing all her sewing orders. Every day I used to wake up early in the morning and prepare first for the fasting and prayer. After this, I used to do all household chores and start sewing clothes to buy things for my family. The mother of two says she started preparing sweets 3 days earlier. Since I'm always busy with work, I started preparing sweets 3 days earlier. This helps as I don't have to rush. I also had to adjust time in between to clean my entire house. But overall, I have been looking forward to this day ever since the fasting started. This Eid, Bano is urging all Fijians to live in unity and celebrate our uniqueness of being a multiracial country. She says a lot can be achieved if we stay united. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
The lack of qualified counsellors in schools is a major challenge for teachers when it comes to disciplining students. The Fiji Trades Union General Secretary says they've noticed an increase in disciplinary issues since the removal of the provision of counsellor teachers in 2010. Koroi Tandolala reports.
The provision of counsellor teachers was introduced in 1999, where teachers were also professionally trained as counsellors. The FTU General Secretary says they're in talks with the Education Ministry in trying to reinstate the provision of counsellors.
What we need to do now, and we have been impressing upon the Ministry for all these years, is that we establish the counsellor positions. We provide them with the opportunity to receive the relevant training and qualification.
The Education Minister admits there is a lack of counsellors and adds this is due to the unavailability of professional courses on offer. She says students have little or no interest in the counselling profession, and that also results in the lack of counsellors.
And of course, this is due to the part of our higher education institutions not providing qualifications in counselling. And we've also noted a lack of interest in our students to become counsellors.
The Ministry of Education and the Fiji Teachers Union will work hand in hand in addressing this issue. Koroi Tandolala, FBC News.
The Ministry of Forestry will now provide all the relevant data of its licenses to the Fiji National Provident Fund for compliance. This is after it has been noted that some licenses are not complying with FNPF contributions. Thus, a memorandum of understanding was signed. Sani Nimboila reports.
The agreement signed will require all ministries' licenses to provide FNPF compliance letters while applying or renewing their license.
Employees especially benefit from their working lives, that when they retire, they're able to recover what they've saved. So forestry, the ministry is very excited to be able to help the FNPF.
FNPF Chief Executive Chao Chikoroi says they have similar agreements with other stakeholders in ensuring that they provide the best services to its members.
We appeal to employers and also employees to make sure that they honor their obligations, particularly the FNPF contributions that they are required to do under the law.
The collaboration will contribute to developing a more sustainable, transparent and accountable forestry sector. The MOU is effective from today. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
An alleged drug smuggler has been denied bail by the Lautoka High Court today. 28-year-old Justin Ho is charged with unlawful exportation of illicit drugs. The judge has denied Ho bail on the grounds that offences of drug cases are currently on the rise, and the alleged offence could lead to a serious sentence, as the case is of public interest. It is alleged in December last year, Nandi, Frederick Epeli and Ho, without lawful authority, facilitated in exporting more than 2 kilos of cocaine and illicit drugs to Sydney, Australia, via the national carrier. It's also alleged that on the same day, the duo engaged in the dealing for the transfer, transport, supply, use, manufacture and sale of cocaine and illicit drugs. He will reappear on the 19th of this month. More than 100 models will showcase designs of 15 renowned local and regional designers at the Bottega Fijian Fashion Festival. With less than 24 hours until the first show, Fijian Fashion Festival founder Faraz Ali says final preparations are now well underway. Ali says the entire production will be run by a team of young and up-and-coming all-rounders who work in every facet of the fashion sector. The two-day fashion festival will begin tomorrow.
So preparation so far going well. We are now in the final stages, obviously, because the shows commence tomorrow. As you all know, a majority of the designers this year, for the first time, are presenting solo shows. It's a shift for us in our fashion culture.
Later in sports with Jamie, Sebuloni Reese named Crusaders Rookie of the Year. But first, Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening and Eid Mubarak, Fiji. Coming up after the break. BSP taking a lead role for cashless society. And in growing Fiji, major road work expected in the coming days. Stay with us.
For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger.
Leading business tonight, the government has introduced initiatives in an effort to make Fiji a cashless society, and one of the local banks has taken a leading role. Following the announcement in the 2018-2019 national budget to waive FPOS fees, Bank South Pacific has taken steps to reduce the fees related to the merchant service. Ritika Pratap reports BSP has also introduced Touch and Go Visa debit cards, which are now available in all branches countrywide.
BSP is slowly rolling out initiatives to continue supporting the idea of the country becoming cashless.
Use the bank cards in lieu of cash, and that has a lot of benefits for customers, for the merchants. For the merchants, they don't have to worry about handling cash.
The next initiative by the bank is to launch the Touch and Go Visa debit cards, which features a chip aimed at countering fraudulent activities.
So at the moment, we are giving the customers that flexibility of using the Touch and Go capability up to $50. And in a day, they can have 3 separate $50 transactions.
This new chip-based Visa debit cards has a number of advantages. It never leaves your hands, protects you from hackers. You do not need to deal with cash and can be used anywhere in the world to pay for all types of services. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Sharon from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the Money World.
Market sentiment was a little sloppy after the US and Mexico talks on tariffs ended yesterday without an agreement. According to several analysts, this signals an increased risk of a recession in the world's largest economy. Investors are now hoping that the US Federal Reserve will cut rates and that resolution of the trade concerns will come to an end sometime soon to support recovery. Meanwhile, the data released last night in the US gave little support to the 2-year Treasury yield. Their weak private jobs data overshadowed solid service industry figures. In Australia, figures released last night showed their economy grew at its slowest pace in almost a decade in the first quarter as household consumption dropped. The Reserve Bank of Australia had cut rates to a record low earlier this week, hoping to support growth and push inflation to its target. And that's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Thanks, Sharon. On to today's exchange rates as it was set this morning. In the turmoil of world foreign exchange markets, the Fiji dollar showed strength against the Chinese yuan as well as the US greenback, also gaining against the Kiwi and the Kina. It slipped slightly against the Aussie, the Euro and the Yen. Looking at the commodities prices, oil prices dipped slightly, remaining around $52 per barrel. Gold was up at $1,329 per ounce, and silver closed down at $14.79 an ounce. And in Growing Fiji, the Wailaso Road in Netasiri will be temporarily closed on Saturday. The closure will enable the Fiji Roads Authority contractors to carry out the necessary twin culvert replacement work. A traffic detour through Savo Road will be in place from 9 a.m. Saturday until 5 p.m. on Wednesday. The contractor will replace the old culvert pipes with new concrete culvert pipes. Following this, the road will be reconstructed. And that's business for tonight. Jamie's up next with sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening in Sports Tonight. Baby says everyone's entitled to their opinion. And Gumel challenges players ahead of Tri-Series opener. There's some more coming up.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasari Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Kritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Copping criticism is part of the job. Well, at least that's what Gareth Baber feels, and he refuses to be fazed by it. It's no secret the role of National Sevens coach in Fiji can quickly take you from being the most despised to the most adored quite rapidly. But Baber says having a supportive family helps lighten the load. Aquila Dama with this report.
This is the man holding one of the toughest jobs in the world, and at times he cops a lot of destructive criticism.
You know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I mean, I think that sometimes it can get a little bit over emotional. Whatever job you're doing, you're going to have your critics. But obviously, you know, I'm in the public eye, and I know I'm going to get those critics. I mean, I think that the emotion does carry into it quite strongly on times. I think we just need to remember that these boys are. Some of them, it's their first tournaments, you know, first 5 or 6 tournaments, and you can see them growing into what they can be.
After failing to win the series, Commonwealth Games and World Cup titles last season, many fans vented their frustrations on social media. But Baber says it was business as usual for the team, despite the negative remarks leveled against them at times.
I can't make any guarantees in the future. As a coach, you can't do that. What you can do is know what your plan is and plan to make sure that you put that into practice every opportunity you get. And the players now are grabbing hold of that. They know the system. And for those critics that are out there, look, you know, I'm sure you'll still have your opinions, but we'll just carry on doing what we're doing.
Meanwhile, Baber's wife, Danielle, says they are still trying to get used to her husband's status in Fiji.
Well, it's kind of, it is quite surreal because he's just Gareth, right? But everybody else, you know, recognises him immediately. And it even happens to the family now, you know. Last time they came back, my other son, who's not here today, was having babies thrust at him and having photographs and stuff. So that was kind of funny.
Danielle says they will continue to support Baber in any way they can. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Fiji residents coach Brandon Costin believes the result of their second match against Tonga yesterday isn't just because they weren't their best, but also due to Tonga doing its homework well. Fiji's 16-10 win yesterday was a stark contrast of its 50-4 win over the Tongans at Churchill Park last Saturday. And the Tongans are expected to only get better in the third and final match this weekend. Apani Sawangai Randovu reports.
With a smaller points difference between Fiji and Tonga yesterday, it showed that Tonga has learned and vastly improved since the first round. Austin told FBC Sports that it was hard backing up Saturday's big win as Tonga came back yesterday and cut down the points margin by playing with a different technique.
That Tonga are going to be a different team, and they were. They played really well. It's hard to get it into your head that you're not going to win by 50 again. So to get a victory on the back of not being at our best, I think it's a step in the right direction.
Tonga team official Sione Tukuafu says that most of their players have never been outside of Tonga to play other teams. He says they will work on their structure to counter the Fijians in Saturday's game.
Our structure fell apart during this game. I also think we need to work on our mental aspect of the game, being able to believe that we can play the full 80 minutes. I think those are the biggest areas that I've noticed on our team.
The Fiji residents will take on Tonga residents Saturday at 3 p.m. at the ANZ Stadium. Apiniso Wangarandovu, FBC Sports.
The Fiji men's football side will have to dig deep to stand a chance of beating Tahiti in their International Tri-Nation Series tomorrow. Head coach Christophe Gomel has asked his players to give it their all against one of Oceania's top football nations.
Regarding Fiji, you need to provide the best because we are providing, and thanks Fiji FA for that, thanks Vodafone and my staff, we are providing the best for you. Now it's time to give back.
We hope to execute all that we have been working on in it training and are not underestimating the Tahiti football team. We have a huge task ahead of us and we will be playing for our country and families at home.
The Fiji national football team will take on the Tahitian side tomorrow at 4 p.m. at Konam Stadium in Vanuatu. Neeraj Maharaj, FBC Sports.
Greece's most decorated athlete, now USA junior weightlifting head coach Peros Dimas has applauded Fiji on its success in hosting the IWF Junior World Championship. Dimas, a three-time Olympic gold medalist, told FBC Sports he hopes to return to Fiji for more events. Meanwhile, with 3 days before the championship concludes, he is confident his 20 lifters that make up Team USA will add more medals to the 10 they already have.
The level of competition is great, the level of organization is great. We are happy and we hope to have Fiji to have more competition in the future.
Dane Gagai starred again for Queensland, scoring 2 second-half tries in their 18-14 win over New South Wales in Game 1 of the State of Origin last night. India launched their ICC Cricket World Cup campaign with a 6-wicket win over South Africa last night. South Africa captain Faf du Plessis won the toss and batted, but a superb double strike by Jasprit Bumrah left his side reeling. In today's Play of the Day, South Africa fast bowler Andila Peluguayo stunned India when he took the wicket of batting mainstay Virat Kohli in India's run chase of 228. That's it from sports tonight. You can join Angie later on with weather. And in the world of the weird and wonderful, the Baby Shark song will soon have a TV show. This and more after the break.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से जैसे प्रेनी नोट मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
A look at AirPix, the smallest, lightest and most affordable hands-free aerial camera ever created. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. It looks like we might have a rainy Thursday night for some areas, but don't worry, sunny spells will return tomorrow. The conditions were really humid for all parts of Fiji, but the night will be cooler, so stay warm. Taking a look in the west, the sun was mild. Good weather is always discovered here. Eastwards from Pack Harbour to Suva, quite hot, more showers are on its way for the night. And up north, comfortable and easy, but there is more indication of light showers. At sea, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, low tide at 9:12 p.m. with high tide at 3:03 a.m. Sunrise at 6:33. For tomorrow, it will turn out fairly nice, just how you like your Fridays to be. Tomorrow's temps, Nandi will hit 31 degrees, so don't forget your sunnies if you're in Nandi. And looking further on to Saturday, do you agree sunshine is a breaking news? Mostly when it comes to the weekend, and especially for those that live around the Central Division. Why? Because it's mostly raining. So cheers to more great weather. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji Pulse tonight, we asked, will the removal of old vehicles help reduce air pollution?
definitely it should be phased out. It will not only reduce air pollution, it will also lessen the number of cars that we have on our roads.
I believe old vehicles should be removed because it will continue to increase air pollution.
Air pollution where they have gas and all this kind of stuff. So the best way to promote those kind of stuff is just to reduce the number of cars in Fiji.
Yeah, I think if there are less cars, it will reduce pollution and help the economy.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, parents and guardians, please brace yourself for this one as Nickelodeon plans to have a Baby Shark TV show. Recapping the main stories for tonight, invasive species found in Fiji waters. SEDELPA says global economic uncertainty could affect budget, and police seize illicit drugs in several raids. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question segment, we're asking, should our Sevens players be given cash incentives after winning the World 7 Series? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day sent in by Joe Brown, a pilot flying into Nandi at dusk, showing the beautiful red sky in the evening. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. Follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news, #FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, Eid Mubarak and good night.
Bula, neva ngo malakai leloma, ngo ngai nakas on makarong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Hoya uvasit sai sa Ilambasa, ya on talita na warong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Guya do Kimeli, ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Wana tuma ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere nawaluan.
Neva ngo fane na tao no singa toka, kita on talita ka ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.